Howdy guys, Joe here, and happy Winter Wonderland. Now you thought I was going to talk about the update. No, I'm talking about something about competitive because, you know, that's me. And, yeah, sorry. This was in the patch notes, though, and this was something just a little bit different that I feel like a lot of people missed from this update. Something that I really want to tell you guys about, though. And it's probably the thing that I'm most excited for, even more than Winter Wonderland, which is really cool in itself. Especially if you're in lower ranks or mid ranks, though, this will be a really, really cool feature that's added to Ranked. Now, what is this feature? Well, if we go look into the patch notes a little bit far down, we can see a brand new thing that was actually in PTR like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that's the function that after you complete a game of Ranked, you can regroup with the people that you want to team with. Now, that just sounds amazing in my opinion, mainly for a few reasons, and I'll get really into these later, but just imagine that. Imagine going to a game, you win the game, and then you can regroup with those exact same people. Now, some of my really big concerns that I want to get before I really talk about the benefits is that maybe what might happen is no one uses this, and as well with that, maybe what might happen is that, you know, people just keep doing what they're already doing and just add the good players, make a friends group, and just make a group and go into Ranked like that. But I hope that this is used, and I'd recommend to you guys, give this a shot and see how it goes for you. Just give it a chance, and if more people start using it, I feel like that could be really good for the community and kind of make the game a little bit less cancerous, you know. I don't know, something that's really cool in my opinion, though. Anyways, what really happens to this? Well, when you press that button, you'll be in a group, and you get to keep playing your future games with that people. Of course, you can leave whenever you want to, but usually you're going to play like 1 or 2 more groups. Now, mainly why I like this is that it's just not as hard as adding additional friends, and it doesn't clutter up your friends list. When you keep adding more and more people, well, majority won't accept your adding, let's be honest, and the other people will maybe play once, and then they're probably going to leave. But I feel like this is really nice, as you can just keep cycling through different groups, and you don't really have to worry too much about your friends list, and worry too much if people are going to accept you into your group. As well with this, probably one of the best things about this brand new system is that it makes so that solo queue is kind of more like playing with friends. Now, it's still not as good as playing with friends, you know, it's still not as good as that duo queue, that trio queue, but for the majority of players which do play solo, which is the majority of players in this game, it's really, really nice to be able to play a game, win that game, and then you and maybe 3 or 4 other people on your team decide, let's requeue. You all know that you want to be there. You all press that requeue button, and you're all ready to play another game together. It's a lot more friendly than, you know, playing with random people. It's something that's really kind of cool, and something that's kind of unique to this game. I've never seen any function like this, and I do hope that more people kind of go over this. Anyways, other than that, pretty much how I'm guessing that this is going to actually work out is that if you lose a game, I'm guessing that you probably should not join that queue again, and probably no one else is going to join the queue. So, you know, there you go. You lost a game, the queue won't be really way too useful. But, on the other hand, if you win a game, I think it'll be really, really fun. So you win a game, and then you can join the queue. And then in the next game, you at least have a queue of happy players that play with you last round, that know at least a little bit what you're good at, know at least a little bit who you're playing, and that can really kind of boost your morale as well. If you play a game right after you just won a game, even if you lose, you probably won't be as angry if you're with the exact same people, because, you know, you went 1 for 1. I don't know. I feel like that kind of mentality could really be nice for the community, and just, you know, playing a few games with other people could really be nice. Now, as well from other stuff in this, I'd say that really what's a great part about the system is that it makes it that your team now always has a support or a tank if you requeue with them. Now, of course, this means that if, you know, in the first place your team had a support and a tank, which a lot of times it will, then you can try to requeue with these people, and then the next game you will once again have a support and a tank. Or maybe you need a DPS. For example, me and my friend, we both play support and tank. We didn't have any DPSs on our team, but we could have tried to, you know, join a queue, requeued, and play with a DPS. I'd say what's really great about this, other than, you know, just being kind of friendly and being kind of cool and, you know, giving you good morale, is that it can also help you get good team comps and get good amounts of characters. You can make sure that you at least have 1 support, at least have 1 tank, and just kind of go from there. And it's very similar, again, to like playing duo queue or playing trio queue. As well with this, if you do happen to do this, and, you know, your team's just happening, you know, to play really amazing team comps, maybe playing just, you know, an average team comp like a Soldier or Winston, probably D.Va actually, and Roadhog, but if you're playing a team comp like that, and you guys are doing very, very well, then you can requeue and go for it again. As well, if you're playing a really offensive team comp, let's say you have a Tracer, you have a Winston, you have a Genji, you have a Lucio, you're all going ham, and it's actually working for you, well, you can go in and do that again. It's really, really cool like that, and you can continue your strategies from game into game into game. Now, of course, the strategies won't, you know, 100% always work from game to game, but often they will, and often these team comps will work and really help you a lot. Now, another great thing about this, and another thing that a lot of you guys will like is that this can also help you quite well with win streaks. Now, one thing that I want to say, don't expect to win every single game when you're joining these queues. You're still playing with random people. You're just playing with a little bit more select random people, and people that you at least won with, people that you're at least a little bit happy with. But what's great about this is that everyone has at least higher morale than the average player, and you're all kind of ready to go into the next game, which can really help when you try to play win streaks. If you go from one game, you win, you're probably a little bit more likely to play better and to play into the next game. And if your entire team's doing that as well, there you go. It can help you get a little bit of win streaks. And it's really, really fun when you get on a win streak with the other people and play through it and are like, nice, we won as a team, let's play another one. That happened to me a lot in the PTR, and it's really kind of cool like that. Overall, there's just a lot of really nice stuff that you can do. As well, another thing that I really do enjoy about this brand new system, at least if you want to try it out, is that it can really make you rage a lot less. Now, I know, me personally, sometimes I have big problems with raging. Everybody really has some problems with raging in their games, at least from time to time. But I feel like this system in particular, and playing with people that you've been playing with for a while, even if just for that day, if like 3 or 4 games in a row, it's just a little bit easier for you to chill out, and for you to not really get as angry with every single game. And it's really just kind of easier to be calm when you get into a game and you know that everyone's at least somewhat competent than when you get into a game and everyone's, just a complete random person. Even when you're losing, I feel like, especially if you joined a queue after you won, it can make you not really rage as much. You're like, got 1 loss, 1 win, and now I guess I'll leave this queue and try to find another one. It really could help you with that factor, and other than, just trying to help yourself, it's probably one of the coolest things that can help you overall rage a lot less. Along with this, with the other people in mind, doing this and joining these queues, I feel like most often will make it a lot more likely for people to join team chat and for people to actually communicate with you. Of course, if you just play one random game, you join competitive and you play a single random game, the chance that everyone is going to go into that team chat, is going to coordinate a lot, is honestly pretty low. Maybe it'll happen sometimes, but it's pretty low. But let's say that you played 4 games together in a team chat, or I guess a team group, and you have that behind you, and now you're kind of talking to each other, you have a little bit more strategy, you're saying what's going on a little bit better, your team comp's a bit better, people are talking more, and each game will probably just run a little bit smoother while you're playing it. Communication, as always, is very key in this game, and this is probably one of the best ways to actually communicate with people other than just, having a ton of people on your friends list. And speaking of friends list, I do want to mention this, playing like 4 or 5 games with people in a row does also highly increase the chance that they'll join your friends list in the future and that you guys can probably actually play with each other in the future. I don't know, just wanted to mention that this can actually help you find some other friends you can play with in the future, which is also a really great function, and something that just kind of seems like a side addition, and just kind of happens with this system. Now, along with just playing with friends, or at least playing with some people that you've played with for a while, pretty good acquaintances, a really great part about this is that it makes so that you have a much smaller chance at playing with trolls. If you just played a game and you won, or if you just played a game and it was a very close tie, and you know that none of the people on your team were trolling, and you re-queue with them, even if not everyone's the best, at least you know that they aren't going to troll, or at least the chance of trolling is lower than the average random player. I feel like a lot of people really hate trolls. They hate the chance of having trolls, having AFK people, and of course while you still will have them sometimes in these groups, I feel like it does at least slightly decrease the chance, and I feel like people will rage a little bit less when they are in these groups, just because, they've been talking to the people in the group for a while, at least 1 or 2 games, and it'll probably decrease their chance of raging just a little bit. So I feel like this also does have a really nice side effect there. And finally, as far as, your team goes, it'll really just make your team a lot more competent. If you've had a lot of practice with each other, just a few games, well, you're already 1 step ahead of everyone else, because they haven't had this practice with each other. You've been going in, you've been learning what your team's doing, you've learned at least somewhat how you guys like to play, and you can kind of play around that. While the enemy team has no idea what's going on, and they don't have any team comps, unless they've also joined this queue. So that's kind of cool also. Overall, I'm just going to say that, at least in my opinion, this queue, on paper, looks like it'll make you play a little bit better, make you a little bit more calm, and since you just won your game and joined the queue, it'll make sure that your team is really hyped up and a little bit more competent. And as well with this, you're probably going to actually try to play better than you usually would because you want to impress these people. Normally you wouldn't want to impress randoms at all, but in this case, they're randoms that you kind of know at least a little bit, so you're probably going to try a bit harder. In the end, on paper, I'm going to say I'm really, really liking this idea, and I tip my hat to Blizzard. I hope that it works great. I hope that the community will accept it, and I hope that the community will start to play this, and I hope that it'll make it, a little bit less cancer in the competitive scene. That would be really cool if this, somewhat fixed it. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about this. Now, of course, some really quick problems that maybe might happen is that, if your entire team of 6 decides to regroup, you might be placed with another team of 6 that are, pre-made 6 friends, that wouldn't be a very fair fight. But other than that, I feel like it'll work out pretty well. I'm guessing the majority of the time, only like 3 to maybe 4 players max will actually join this queue on a certain team, so hopefully that situation won't happen way too much. Anyways, tell me what you guys think about this brand new update, especially, you know, the Christmas stuff, but also about, you know, this brand new change, and if you're going to be trying to use it yourself. If you guys did enjoy the video, as always, press like, comment down below if you want some free air, personally from me, and make sure to hit that subscribe button to be able to see videos today, tomorrow, and infinity in the future. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a wonderful day.